What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here at the Nerd Castle with the next episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. I apologize for the little break yesterday. I messed up my scheduling, and so have to come clean with you. Or I had to come clean? What is that? I don't even think that's a word. A clean sounds like a weird slimy creature that would live on an alien planet. But anyways, I have to come clean with you guys. I just kind of messed up my scheduling and didn't have any Shadowrun episodes left. So in the previous episode, we had been fighting with the Magnifikers, and they were actually pretty damn terrifying. They hurt a lot. Let's take a look at some of these things that are around. The most basic spell. Oh, it's Powerbolt 3. Sure, we'll take that for freebies. And then what's over here? God, our furry jacket is so awesome. Glue. Target cannot move, but can use their AP to attack. Yeah, we'll send that to the stash as well. I don't think it's going to be useful for us, but it looks like somebody got executed over here. There's just bullet trails flying everywhere. Ah, well. So in the previous episodes, we'd had a little bit of an audio delay, and I did want to explain exactly what had happened right there. So I use an extra hard drive for all of my recording, and unfortunately the extra hard drive was dying and I didn't know it, and what it was doing is it was dropping frames and just omitting them. Whenever the drive wouldn't read, it would drop a frame or two, and over the course of an episode that would cause the whole thing to get behind. I'm gonna have Blitz bypass the door here, and he pops the casing off the door control. I like how it never gives him a name. It's just like your Decker, just generically. Please don't shoot me in the face. I would really prefer not to be shot in the face. An individual named Janet in a rather awesome looking jacket with a cloud strife looking hairstyle. A middle-aged woman with chocolate colored skin and shoulder length dreadlocks looks up from her PDA with a start. She's decked out in form-fit body armor, and in a flash her assault rifle goes from slung to held at the ready. Who the hell are you? And how'd you get through that door? I just knocked nice. You just gotta know how. She gestures with her rifle. Cut the shit and start talking. What do you want and why are you here? Parson sent me. He said he wants his hardware back. She shakes her head violently. No way! Those parts are keeping us online, and not just us, but everyone worth a new yen in this hole. Parson can keep running his ridiculous little cult just fine with what he's got, but us, we're the only Matrix connection that these people have. I don't have time for this. I need these parts right now. I don't want this to get messy, so back down. Not gonna happen. She aims her rifle at you with emphasis. Well, I'll go with my Charisma 5. It says, look, there's far more at stake here than your little corner of the Matrix, but no one needs to get hurt. All I want is the part. She looks you up and down, and you can see the doubt growing in her eyes. Finally, her shoulders slump in defeat. She lowers her gun and signals the others in the room to stand down. Fine. You win, asshole. Take them. The terminal's in the back room. Good call. Screw you. Take your parts and get the hell out of my apartment. It's true, you did make the right call. I mean, if you had made the wrong call, the person that answered, it would have been really, really bad for you. So let's go on out, and it looks like there's a vampire or something here in the background hanging out. But this is what we need, so let's chop it apart and get it. The hacker's terminal has clearly been cobbled together using whatever parts they could find. In spite of this, it's a remarkably impressive piece of machinery. Studying the terminal, it takes almost no time to identify the components that Parson sent you to find. At the moment, it's impossible. What I did right there is the option. I forgot to read it. I'm sorry. I'm running like an hour of sleep right now. So I may make some mistakes during the course of this episode, but because I think I'm actually mostly driven by caffeine and dementia at this point. But what I had clicked anyways, the option right there was to see if I could get the parts out without disabling the Matrix console. At the moment, it's impossible to remove the part without disabling the terminal. The converters requires that the signal the terminal sends can be interpreted by the data jack of its user. I'm going to have the teammate examine the terminal to see if the parts can be replaced. The converter is a pretty specialized piece of hardware, but a data jack impulse transmitter is a widely available piece of equipment and could be converted to work in its place. Okay, so we got a new objective right there, and I didn't get a chance to see what it was. So it says find an impulse transmitter. I don't know where we would get one of those, but I suppose we'll keep an eye out as we run around. Maybe we can talk to her one more time and let her know what our plan is. Nope. Not able. Let's see if we can find, is there anything in here? Well, we'll take a look around some of the other apartments. Who knows what we'll find around. There is a distinct possibility that the developers decided to leave one laying around, conveniently for our own perusal and usage. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. Every time I open a door, I hate the fact that I'm a mage and I have no choice but to go in first. Especially now that guys are hitting for upwards of like 40 damage almost every other turn. It gets scary. 24 new yen just sitting around over there. Somebody has spray painted BTL as a request on the wall. That stands for Better Than Life chip, which is basically kind of a digital drug that people use to live through other lives. What's this over here? On the desk dresser is a scrap of paper with Shark Tank scribbled on it. Okay. We are one with the communion. Join us and we will be one together. I don't feel like being won. I feel more like being lost. Let's go back and see if... I don't know what that's going to be. I like how the wang has been censored right there. Conveniently, they decided to censor out the willy bits. The communion speaks and we listen. Give yourself willingly, join us and be rewarded. And we've got bliss there. We're going to send that to the stash. Nothing else, though. I don't know if Shark Tank is going to be useful later on. I'll continue looking around. Maybe we missed something down in this little corner? Indeed, no, it does not appear to be the case. But as a recap as to why we are in this apartment building, I just realized that I forgot to talk about that. Well, we're in the apartment building because there's a crazy AI running around whacking people, and we need to make sure that it no longer continues with the violence. We need to make sure that it either is done away with or at least pacified before we can go further on into the game, and that is what we are here to do. Who is Franz? A group of metahumans huddle together, their eyes wide with terror. Many of them have scrapes and bruises, and a few have more serious injuries. Their clothes are tattered and stained. At your approach, a disheveled-looking, middle-aged man steps forward, placing himself between you and the main group. His gray hair is badly matted, and a pair of battered reading glasses hang from the bridge of his nose. Who are you, may I ask, and what are you doing here? Three-Toe, and you are? My name is Franz. These are my friends and my wife. We all live together. Well, we used to live together up on the 3rd floor. Used to live upstairs? Yeah, until about a week ago. Then the Magnifiker's pets moved in and we had to run for our lives. Spirits, you mean? He nods, a look of pure misery on his face. They're always summoning the damn things, but last week they lost control of a handful. Before we knew what was happening, they were running wild in our living room. We tried to protect ourselves, but we were no match for him. He shakes his head, a haunted look in his eyes. We had no choice but to leave everything behind. We've been scraping by down here ever since. Franz takes a moment to collect himself. When he speaks again, he sounds more composed. At least Janet is letting us use her Matrix uplink. We can still afford to feed ourselves thanks to her. Well, if there are uncontrolled spirits loose up there, someone needs to deal with them. Might as well be us. Franz's face lights up in excitement. Oh, thank you, thank you. Please let us know when it's safe to return home. Alright, is there anybody else to converse with around here, or at least anything to loot? That impulse neurotransmitter thing might be just about in any corner, and I want to make sure that we get all of our optional objectives completed before we go much further. This may be one of those multi-floor things, though, like we did back in the old nightclub, where we've got to hit 4 or 5 floors to get everything that we need. If that is the case, I suppose we'll move on and see what there is to be found in higher levels. Let's go to the 3rd floor. And so now that we're here, I suppose I'll try and get kind of situated right there. We'll open the door on up. Yeah, we've got a plague spirit right there. I'm going to move Iger into a possible firing position. There it is for 20 damage. Missed the second one, unfortunately. I probably could have made that work a little bit better. What I will do is, we've got the heavy barrier. I think I'm going to cast a haste 4 on Iger. And with the first one right there, we'll go with Deadeye Shot. Fortunately, still not going to help us out. It's basically just kind of taking random shots with the way that the game is aligned with regards to the RNG around all of your gunshots. I feel like the sniper rifle needs to have its range kind of drawn in a tiny bit. It feels like it has a dead zone. That's the way that I would describe it. Is it feels like it has a very kind of defined dead zone. Okay, we've made all of our shots thus far. I am a wee bit concerned about the fact that this thing may survive the Eve, though. If we double miss here, that's... Oh, we managed to make the shot. Awesome. And so there's another one right there, but he's going to have to move a bit before he's able to take shots at us. So that may buy us some time. I'm going to move Three-Toe up to right here, and he's going to use the remainder of his AP. I know there are those of you out there who are crying right now because I haven't used Hellfire at all yet. We will, don't worry. When there's time and there's no cover and it's convenient to use 2 AP on something like that, we absolutely will. For right now, though, it's simply not the best course of action. Let's turn on the new drone, even though on this turn it's only going to have... Oh, no! I clicked the wrong thing. It moved the switch over to here where I figured the button was going to be in the same spot because I was looking over here. That is troublesome. Well, I suppose we'll waste another AP doing that because we still come out sort of on top. I'm going to block his movement with the drone, and the drone will take nothing. Move him into cover with Iger. We'll move her down to here so that maybe she can take some shots. With a 50-50, yeah, it's still a bad chance. That's what I mean by the dead zone, where between the two weapons that they've chosen for the character, there's a dead zone. So there's a massive zone in which your shotgun is terrible and your sniper rifle is terrible, and there's not really any way around that. I mean, either way, your shot chances are still pretty abysmal on most of your characters. Let's go for an aim shot there. Still not going to get him down in time, unfortunately, due to the loss of AP. Somebody's going to take a hit here, and it's going to hurt like hell. So we've got an AoE off right there. And it killed itself with that AoE. And you know what that means. It's bear time. And so we got a bunch of health back. It missed because apparently Max is not able to utilize the magical healing talents of the bear. That's cool. I had a sneaking suspicion that bears might not like robots. That's one of those little kind of mythical things that they don't talk about in the Old Norse lore. Robots, and I forgot to use adrenal pumps on like everybody too. Already starting the day off at a massive downswing. Oh, there's two of them back here. Run away. I am not okay with that. So what we're going to try and do is draw them back into a fight in this room so that we can drop some potential long bombs on them. And the problem that I come into, by the way, and the reason I haven't used the Hellfire is like what I would really like to do is block this doorway with the Hellfire. But I don't know if the enemy is going to be able to use my own cover against me, so if they can get behind it as heavy cover, I really don't want that to happen. Which is why this doorway shall remain open. We'll also put as many people on Overwatch as we can manage. And maybe what I'll consider doing instead is kind of sneaking back here to my own little space. And since we've got a bit of time, let's go ahead and give ourselves Hellfire. We shall gird ourselves in the flames of darkness. I like how they're more of like a purplish flame too. They've got kind of that, I don't know, Hot Topic thing going on. Still looks awesome though. With her, what are her clawing chances? Still pretty bad, but we can go for it. Why not? She's got a bunch of extra AP rolling around, so we may as well give it the attempt. The old heave-ho, although I don't know who it was that was kind of riding around making sayings basically after heaving hose. Must have been some heavy hose back then if you had to give them a heave. You had to actually have like a saying in order to get it done, but I don't question. How is that out of line of sight? That looks perfectly fine to me. Oh my god. How is that out of line of sight? That is janky as hell. That is quite literally ridiculous. Like, I mean, I guess I might not be respecting the isometry properly, or the isometry properly, and that could be the problem, is that I'm just not making use of the angles, I guess. I'll sneak her. Oh, good. Just what I always wanted, a 20 damage hit right at the beginning of my turn. From off camera, too. I can't see them, but they can see me. That's always a terrifying proclamation. I'm gonna have her and Max fall back to force that guy into the room. We'll kind of just reposition a little bit to make sure that we've got things going the way that we want them to. Is it just me, or does my barrier appear to be fizzling back and forth? Appears to be waxing and waning slightly. I'm going to use my adrenal pump as well so that we have 4 AP on the next turn to play around with. I'll have Blitz reload, and then with his turn he's also going to Overwatch. Everybody has Overwatch now. Okay. Well, this could be a bad day for whatever decides to come into the room. There it is right there, 20 free damage. Could be worse, but could be better. You won't hear me complaining. Suppose I'll haste Glory, since our close quarter situation kind of detracts from the benefit of hasting Iger. $18 off so far, and with 3 misses, see if we can do a little better right there. Unfortunately, we're not able to. Heal is on cooldown, so we're just gonna have to live with that. $17 damage right there, and another 22 beating the odds. Still just can't manage to be rid of the little bugger, but he's down to 40. Okay, so he's gone now. Let's go ahead and bypass a turn. I'm gonna health kit myself in lieu of better options. And there's another one in here. I'm gonna take my shots and then retreat back to a safer area. See if we can't pull him out. Is basically the goal right there. With 3 remaining, I may go for another Hellfire just to make sure that I have heavy cover. It also couldn't hurt to take Max and put him behind heavy cover too. Give myself a quickie reload. We'll go back for another go, get a reload there, and then another Overwatch, and we'll wait and see. Is it broken? Why is it not attacking? Or maybe it's just too smart for me. Yes. Come play with me. Now he comes. That's cool. That's cool. Whatever. I think I'm going to use Mana Charge on my location so that I get a little bit better of a hit chance. So yeah, there's a 66, which is definitely better than a 56. The way that I think about percentages and chances is like, yeah, if you had to gamble with your life on those percentages, would you rather have a 55 or a 65? And in my opinion, every little bit helps. You never know. You never know if that 10% is going to be the one that differentiates you from life and death. Come on, guys, you can make this shot. There we go. So we have cleared out the... Oh, good. So there's an optional objective that we've taken care of. Let's continue having a look around for this neural hub or whatever it was that we were looking for the floor that preceded. A premium medkit. That's good. And it seeks to make a nice little replacement for what I had already had. Dinner appears to be sizzling. Either that or somebody is hot knifing something at the moment. You can never tell the difference when you're in the middle of a slum house. And then... I don't know how many more rooms are going to be on this floor, but that appears to be... That's a way bigger square footage than my apartment, I'll say that. So you could fit 3 people in there fairly comfortably. And yet again, we are in the unenviable position of having to open a door without the... Yeah, we've got company blast them, is the proclamation that they have made. So I'm going to hang back. We'll go with infiltration mode now with Iger and see if she can't get in there and point blank somebody upside the head. And yeah, we're just going to use her. She's got 87 from right there. That's pretty good, he said as he missed a shot. .27 right there. So we're already up to 45, which for a mage, this is quickly approaching lethal. He's dead now. And with the remaining AP that we have, I think I'm going to send people into cover positions. Although not too close of cover, simply based on the fact that I don't want to get AoE'd. We've picked up the Magnifiker Amulet. Okay, and interestingly enough, there's nobody else coming for us. Let's reload, and I'm going to have her 2-step into this room. And with a 93, the Magnifiker Mage is ready and primed to be annihilated by Buckshot. Unfortunately, the 87% does not appear to be favoring us in the long odds. The short odds were looking pretty good for us, and I don't mean that as a dwarf joke, but long odds not looking so great. Let's go ahead and use Adrenal Pumps now. With Blitz, we're going to expand his usefulness by turning on his drone. And we'll take the drone out for a rip. And there she is. I don't think I want to move too much further with Blitz. Although there may be a semi-lucrative opportunity to get a little bit of, oh no. Okay, so that's not gonna work either. In all honesty, we're gonna have to wait for... It's bad. It's pretty bad. I'm gonna have to join the combat here. But we are very, very susceptible to AoEs at the moment, so we're gonna have to watch out for that. Taking 2 hits for 27 so far. Okay, and so with my health where it's at, it's not going to be worthwhile to do anything other than use a big health kit. He needs to go, so there's a couple things here. Let me see if this hits glory. It did not. So this is going to be our first line of combat right here. We want to double up on hits wherever we can. And we'll send Glory as a little bit of a tackler on the healer, I guess. Just to make sure that the healer is occupied, and then we'll throw a burst fire straight into the side of the healer's head. So there's that all nice and done. I'm going to use my own spells to see if we can't get rid of that mage, who is wounded. He's pretty injured right now, but he's not quite there yet. And there it is. He had an awesome cape, but it was no match for the fact that we have much, much larger guns. If I had to choose between a cape and a gun, I would probably go with the latter rather than the former. Just saying. Blitz is unfortunately unable to clear the distance that he needs to clear in order to get into combat, so alas, I could have sent a drone through there too. I didn't even notice that. Bad move on my part. Wait, does she bleed to death? Okay, that's cool. I'll take that. That is definitely a resolution that I will accept. We're about to get paid out for all these Magnifiker amulets. Got a Force 5 Nature Elemental Fetish. That's actually going to be quite useful later on too. And of course, right after I buy Shadow Zone, there it is right there. God. Killing me. Killing me slowly with the little bits and bobs of my past purchases. I always have buyer's remorse. Just me as a person. Always having buyer's remorse. So there's a few more amulets. At 9 amulets, I think they were going to pay $250 a piece, so we're already sitting at, you know, 2,250 lovely, lovely credits, new yen, whatever you want to call them, on our way through here. I think I'm going to break the episode off at this point. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle for another episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. Take care out there, everybody, and I will see you there.